Welcome to Watopia in the hilly course. This is the original Watopia course where right from the start riders need to climb the Watopia hill. Over a distance of 900 metres, riders will ascend 50 metres with a maximum gradient of 9.7% before they reach the KOM arch. Heading along the hillside, riders will pass Scotty's hillside condo and the Zwift aliens before grabbing some speed on the descent to Hanks. The second half of the course will take the riders over the undulating roads through the Italian village and on towards the final climb up to the S's. The total course distance of just over 9 kilometres and an elevation gain of 100 metres is a tough and fast course that always provides a spectacular race. Go hard on the climbs and rest on the descent. Good luck racers, ride on.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Vision Cycling broadcast of the KISS Road Race out on Zwift. Riders are just getting going underway, and we've got some pretty awesome stuff coming at you today with a little bit of new features today that we're going to be able to show you guys during the racing today. We're super excited to bring it your way. We also have along with us, though, Mr. Jonathan Noblet with us here today to help us co-cast the KISS Road Race out on Zwift today. So, Johnny, how's it going, man?
I'm glad. I'm good. I'm doing very good, Nathan. It's going to be a good race today. I've got a few little treats in store today, so it'll be good to see what people think of them for today's broadcast.
For sure. So what I'm going to have to do, though, right off the bat is we are going to have to get out of the A event module. We've got a whole lot of A riders. I saw about 60 or so riders. I think there was like 400 plus riders signed up for the Hilly Watopia KISS race today, and so I think 400 plus is absolutely crazy. And right now we've seen around, I think it's somewhere around like high 50s to 60s in this A race right now, and they are just starting to head up the forward Watopia course. And the little bit of a treat that we do have is Zwift on board right now. We can actually officially have our first looks at what Zwift on board is all about. And so right now we are looking at Pure here out of Canada, followed by C. Loeffler. Moldestedt is here as well, about 400 watts, 174 beats per minute. We're looking at what this absolute killer start in the KISS races that is talked about so often actually looks like from these racers. So I think Casey Shum is in here from Team Experimental. We'll try and get eyes on what this rider is up to right now. Mr. Team Experimental here flying up the course, and from what it looks like here, 421 watts, 174 beats per minute right now. Absolutely killing it. So Casey Shum is here, and we'll be able to get live looks at the attacks and the following that these riders are trying to throw down as they head up over the top of the climbs. Each part of the sprints, all that different kind of stuff we'll be able to see. We do see Casey in here then from Team Experimental hammering up over the top of the course right now on the forward Watopia. David Williams from the KRT is here with us as well. It looks like David's putting out about 400 watts right now. It looks like about 358, actually 155 beats per minute, following along in the lead group right now from the KISS racing team. Absolutely killing it as well, coming out of Great Britain. Looks like he is just hanging on up and over the top here in this last 100 meters to the top of the KOM. I believe the juggernaut Allenby is in here as well, a little bit off the back. We'll see if we can grab Allenby's point of view, as I believe he was saying that he's feeling a little bit sick today. It looks like his live stream might be a little sick too. No, I think we've got him in here. So Allenby here in the blue kit, absolutely killing it as well, and it looks like he's able to hang on to that lead group. So a couple of the big hitters here, Team Experimental, Vision Cycling, KRT, all in there, killing it, all pushing somewhere between that 350 and 450 watts, actually. And what do you think is going to be happening here as Allenby's heading toward the front? Do you think it's going to be attack right from the get-go, Johnny?
Well, we do know he's working with a little bit of a cold at the moment, so he might be trying to put in a bit of a push at the start, maybe just trying to affect the race a bit. Seeing he'll come with him, maybe see he's got the legs, and then you maybe see if he's got a bit of energy in there despite having a bit of a cold.
So, yep, there was a little peek of what we are up to with the Zwift on board. We'll be able to get live looks of all the riders as they are attacking throughout the race. Johnny, do you have eyes on the B, C, or D race at all right this moment so I can head back there and make sure not to lose the race when I do leave the event module? If you can give me a heads up on that, I'd really appreciate it.
Well, we've actually got the B riders right now. The front of the Bs are heading just up the forward KOM at the moment, just gone over that arched bridge. As I'm looking at Keith D from KRT at the moment, he's riding up there on the Tron bike, going up that first KOM.
Okay, so we are looking at when does the C's and the D's leave? Do they leave like, is it 5-6 minutes? Do we have an idea of that?
Yep, 6 minutes past we'll have the C's leave, and then 9 minutes past I do believe that's when we have the D's leave.
All right, so I'm going to have to time that perfectly. If you have eyes on them, please let me know so that I can know when to go back and leave the event. I might just do that right now, though, actually. I'll be here at the front. This is the lead group now. We are looking at a lead group of... Let's see, about, well, I'm not going to get eyes on that right there, but we're looking at a lead group, I think, of at least 20 plus riders or so right now. Heading on down, Fleetwood's in there, Garcia's in there, lots of Team Experimental boys. I'm going to head back to my avatar. I'm going to quit the event, and I'm hoping I'm going to get the C. There they are. We did it just right, boys and girls. There's the C riders. And we got our own broadcasting tools on site here right now as we are able to quickly get back to the right time at the right place, especially on Watopia. It gets a little difficult at times because on Watopia, on the London course, you can see all the riders that are up ahead that are out on course, and so you can easily select back on the course. But if you're on the pier, you're all alone on the pier, and there's no selecting anything anywhere out out on the course. So we had StreamJar coming through there. If we get a couple of notifications in the back, I thought I disconnected StreamJar, but it's not. So we might get a couple notifications. Thanks a lot for the host over on Beam. I really appreciate the host or the subscription over on Beam. That's usually what those notifications are. I really appreciate it. K Knight here now at the front of the C race. Dinsdale is there as well, and I believe it's saying Stream C right now in his name. I know he was trying to get a stream going. It does take a lot of upload in order to make it happen. And if I can grab Dinsdale, I will try and find it and see if it can come through. But it does take a lot of upload to make it happen. But Dinsdale here at 4.3 watts per kilogram, 182 beats per minute for the KRT team, making his way toward the front here as we are seeing McGowan, Warrington, Cave, Knight, Velsic out of Norway as well, Masterson out of Great Britain, and Williams out of the US of A, all a part of this C race. 350 watts or so as they climb up this 7% grade, just about 2 minutes in, and the heart rates are already up into that 171, 165, and that's the thing about this course, Johnny. I mean, it comes at you nonstop, right? I mean, it's just like 13-minute laps or so, 13 to 15-minute laps, depending on how fast the boys are going, and it's just this nonstop at you, you do the forward Watopia, it's downhill, hang on, gets a little flat, and then bam, the Essies are right in your face. As you can see, the course profile in the upper right-hand corner here, 7% grade, and then you're downhill. That downhill, though, is not really a reprieve, and then you hit the flat, and then bam, it's just right into the Essies. And there's not really any reprieve on this course, is there?
No, it's a hard one. You know, you got that climb right from the start. You know, it's 900 meter full-on climb, about 9% average gradient stuff. You know, it's not a hard. You know, it's not easy at all to get over that climb. That breaks everyone up. And when we see people like David Allenby with that TT effort powering over the front, over the KOM banner, but then we get the S's, and that climb on the S's and riding over the S's, that is not an easy one to do at all. And that takes out a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, after the climb, you head back into the Essies. The course profile, you can see it. It's a downhill. Then you go over the bridge here, and then you head on up over into the the Essies, and it just comes right back at you with that continual grading. We are looking at Sebastian Kuhn from Vision Cycling right now. He is in and amongst the B group right now and absolutely killing it. We do see 297 watts or so, 167 beats per minute. I think Sebastian has perhaps made the lead group in the Bs. I'm going to go ahead and click through on my side and see where he is standing right now, but it looks like he's hanging on to the very back end right now of that front group. Yep, Sebastian Kuhn is in there with the leaders right now, with Brian Graytrick. Abbott is in there as well, Graham, and a few others. So Kuhn at 167 beats per minute, looking to try and win, probably out on course for that B race right now. Brian Graytrick here as well. I'm going to have to kill everything over at OBS here right now. We'll just keep eyes on the we'll keep eyes on all of the riders right now as I get my OBS going again. So that's the nice thing about Zwift on board. I can just keep eyes on the riders, and my OBS doesn't have to be up any longer. But we are getting all kinds of notifications over at the over at Beam right now, so we're gonna have to restart OBS real quick. Casey Shum here though, 232 watts. Looks like these boys are starting to head through the Essies right now. 168 beats per minute, 293 watts. Looks like he's hanging on at the front of the group currently. So good to see that he's able to make that through there. Allenby is still there as well, as we can see from Casey's point of view. I'm going to go ahead and check out what's going on with Allenby. One of the favorites most likely to win today. 359 watts up toward the front there. And as you can see in the upper left-hand corner, really smart play by Zwift on board to make it so that you cannot see the power-ups. So we did keep those under wraps for everybody so that we aren't getting anybody kind of sneaking in there and seeing what the hat is, what underneath, what they're holding on to as far as the power-ups go. So very good to see there. I'm going to go ahead and look through a few of the other riders here, see if we can find anybody from the C race. Not quite seeing anything yet. Mark McIntosh, though, is here also from Team Experimental, actually making his way to the front. We actually have a great view from McIntosh, actually, of the lead of the A race, it looks like. Right behind Allenby's wheel there as Allenby comes through. Now he makes his way back as they're going underneath the tunnel right now for that section of the course. So really good to see McIntosh here in amongst these boys from Team Experimental. So a couple of Team Experimental boys, it looks like, able to make the race here, and a little bit of tactics maybe to try and take down the juggernaut Allenby today. See if we can get I have to run this as administrator. A couple little clicks in the background here real quick, guys, as I get our Nathan's view back up. But back to Sebastian Kuhn, who is in the B race. Looks like they are just heading in to the sprint section out on course. Still hanging in tough there. It looks like he's hammering 166 beats per minute, just trying to hang on at this point maybe as they're heading into the Essies. We do see 166, 167, 216, 212 watts, maybe backing off just a little bit. You can see maybe a little bit of a reprieve right now in his effort as he knows that 5% grade is about to hit, and we are about to see a serious effort right now, I think, up and over the top of this climb. And so many times we've talked about that 5 to 6 to 7% gradient that this is right here, and the 5 to 6 watts per kilogram that you got to throw down. Now this you can really see the effort that's coming down here. 398 watts, 171 beats per minute. The suffering that happens here. It's not full on just yet. I think it's kind of tempo, as you can see from Kuhn. You know, 5, 6 watts per kilogram. A little bit of dig into there, but not for too long. Isn't going to be too much of an issue, most likely. But we are seeing that a few riders are starting to fall off the back from that little bit of a kick up and over the top there. Sternfalk and it looks like Nakagawa as well, just barely hanging in there. And Kuhn is at the front of that group right now. Definitely at the front of that group right now. We're going to see if we can bring up this back with my OBS here. Full scene. There we go. All right, we should be back in good to go. There we go. We're back and up and running again with our OBS and no more notifications in the background. Again, I'm not to say don't give a follow to all the other channels, those notifications that you guys heard in the background. So we are live also on Beam, we are live on Twitch, we are live on YouTube, as well as Zwift's Facebook page. This is our first try at Zwift on board, and so we are running a whole new software and all kinds of awesomeness that is making this possible right now. But in doing that, there was a few notifications that didn't get turned off in our OBS in the background, and so that's what you heard coming through, is people following those channels or subscribing or hosting us on all those other outlets. So that's what's going on with that. For those of you who are maybe unfamiliar with what's going on here in front of you right now, this is a race out on Zwift. Zwift is a massive multiplayer online video game or virtual cycling simulator. And everybody that you are looking at right here, Takeshita, is actually coming out of Japan. As you can see on the right-hand side of the screen here, you can see all of the country flags, the international field of riders that are currently riding in the game in front of you right now. Everybody that has KISS in their name, along with a category, is currently racing in the KISS race. They are all actually part of event modules that are in the game. We had to leave the event module in order to follow the entirety of the race, because all that the riders can see that joined the B event module, the A event module, the C or the D, based on the category that they wanted to race in for their ability level, they joined those event modules. They only see the B riders that are actually around them. The rest of the and then I am left the event module and I can see the rest of the riders that are all out on course. But this is, as we were saying, an international field of riders in the B race, in the A race right now. And so as we move forward, we do see a Cookie Monster that was part of the A race right now out on the a TT bike. Actually, it looks like he actually left the event module, though. We're going to go ahead and move forward, though, and see if we can get eyes on the A race. They're most likely just coming up and over the top of the climb. Actually, it looks like they have crested the climb already. And as we move back here just a little bit, we do have T. Engen as well as Jay Seegers here. The Hedgehog is here. Here we go. This is most likely the front, as we do see Allenby here at 4.7 watts per kilogram or so. Williams is here as well. Loeffler, Moldestad, a lot of the common big hitters. We do have David Williams actually from the KRT team, 147 beats per minute. So actually taking it a little calm right now, and it looks like it is a moment of reprieve. We can actually get eyes on David and see what that actually looks like at 146 beats per minute as we fly him in. Here is David hammering away now, 374 watts, a little bit of a kick up and over that 4% grade or so at 68 RPM. So most likely on a smart trainer, as we do see the changes in the cadence out on course right now. If you do have a smart trainer, you most definitely do feel the differences that are on course for the different gradients and different changes that you can see in the course profile in the upper right hand side of the screen there. We do have Allenby here still as well, hanging in, as well as Mark McIntosh. So a lot of these boys hanging in. They were able to make the initial break. This is McIntosh's point of view right now, up toward the front of the race. 178 beats per minute or so, it looks like. So he does beat up over 200. We do have a whole record of all of the riders that are racing out on course right now. And so all the riders that are out on course right now, we have an entire record of their past races, how they've done in past races, what their max heart rates are, what their functional threshold powers are, all that stuff, thanks to a website called ZwiftPower.com that was put together by some of the KISS race organizers. It tracks actually all of the results, it tracks all of the metrics of all the riders, and gives us an idea of what their max heart rates are, what their functional threshold powers are, as well as all of the accomplishments that they've had. So it's like a league. It's like a website that's a league of Zwift racing. Absolutely amazing. Very cool. And if you'd like to watch the live results over there as well, head on over to ZwiftPower.com. Click on the respective race. Right now, the KISS A and B are in the same race event, as well as the C and the D, and you can see all of those live results. We do see a little of an attack right now from Pierre Ficati as well as Tim Cartwright. Tim Cartwright, one to watch out for out of Great Britain. Excuse me. from the KISS Racing team. And Pierre Ficati, though, out of Canada, 178 beats per minute as well. And it'll be interesting to see what the heart rates look like from these boys that are trying to follow the efforts at this point at the front of this race. Pierre Ficati now going backwards a little bit, but Allenby here looks like at 5.0, 6.0 watts per kilogram, 463 watts, quickly getting on terms with that, not really letting it go anywhere. But that was definitely an attack we did see from Cartwright and Pierre Ficati. Moving back, we do see Gagnon. Frank Garcia here from Team Experimental, actually. This is the sprinter. And if he's able to hang on, all the way through, let's see if we can get a good shot here of Frank. And if he's able to hang on from Team Experimental, hanging out behind, it looks like Vegan Porsche is there as well out of Australia. Very popular rider out on course. He makes all the high-end races, actually. He actually raced yesterday in the IGS race as well. Was doing very well in it. I know that because I was racing those guys up over the top of the King of the Mountain, actually, while they were racing. But we do see Garcia here hanging in. And if this man makes it to the end of the race, if Oxenham, as you can see, Oxenham here on the right-hand side of the course, you can see McIntosh in there as well. Casey Shum is in there as well, who's also Zwift on board right now, streaming live. These guys, if they're able to work well for Garcia, he's going to be the one to watch out for in the sprint. This guy can throw down a good 1,500 watts, a solid up into that 15 watts per kilogram or so. As they head through this sprint section, we do see a few riders out there going for the sprint. I don't think they're a part of the race, actually. I think some of these boys are definitely saving up before they hit the Essies out on course. But you do see a few riders going for the sprint jersey right now. And what are these leaderboards on the left-hand side? That might be a question for some of you who are unfamiliar with the world of Zwift. So these leaderboards on the left-hand side, you do see B. Orgidson, Z-Sun here, he has actually got the fastest sprint through this section right now, which means he was awarded the sprint jersey out on course. So he actually has a special jersey he gets to wear for 1 hour straight since he set that time, and then it goes to the next person for 1 hour, for whoever's the next fastest person after that 1 hour is up. And then you do see D. Jones here with the fastest lap out on course, and he gets awarded an orange jersey. There's a King of the Mountain for the direction we are going, and it looks like Pierre Ficati, actually, who is a part of this lead group right now, and is actually looking for that Canadian flag. We do have Gagnon here coming out of Canada. Did Pierre Ficati fall up? No, there he is, but he does actually have the fastest, that's a part of the, out on course altogether, with a 143 up and over the top of the KOM. But he was not rewarded the jersey, which is interesting. I think it's because he's a part of an event module. And so they didn't actually reward him the jersey, as it separates people from it. But if he was just riding out and not a part of the event module, he would be awarded that jersey. You can get a triple jersey or double jersey out on course as well. So you can actually don all 3 or even 6 or 8 jerseys if you can get that Epic KOM out there both ways. I think that's pretty much impossible, as you only have 1 hour to grab the jerseys. But you can grab all the jerseys if you can make that happen. They're heading through the Essies right now. These are real people on real bikes putting out real power that is being communicated from their pedal stroke through a power meter or speed sensor or a smart trainer to their computer through a little USB stick that goes into their computer and picks up that signal from those bikes. So we do have A. Sherritt here out of Great Britain, 181 beats per minute. Looks like these boys are really starting to throw down. We are seeing Shum here up into that 171 or so. And so I think that there's definitely some serious effort going on, but only 273 watts, looking really steady actually. We'll go ahead and bring in Mr. Casey Shum here real quick. We'll go ahead and do a little, let's see if we can switch up the coolness here. There it is with a little cube in. There's Casey Shum as they head into that tunnel. Throwing down 168, looking fairly comfortable. Actually, at this point, 241 watts. Looks like they're starting to hold hands just a little bit. And after they go through the Essies, a lot of times that is the point at which they rest up a little bit. Getting a little towel and wipe off is, hopefully Shum's got a good, fan going in front of him, and keeping that heart rate real low gives us a little bit of a sign there. Rock on. As for everybody out on stream, let's hear it for Casey Shum. Give that guy some ride-ons. You can actually give ride-ons in game. Let's go ahead and give him a ride-on, see if we can see it pop through actually over on his stream. It went through just now. There'll be a little bit of a delay, probably 10 to 15 seconds or so for when that comes through. And there it is. You can see the end Gara. So you can go ahead and do that too. If you go ahead and download the app on your phone, or if you open up Zwift and you find the rider, you can give ride-ons actually to riders in order to encourage them on in game. So very cool for Casey here. 154. There's the live ride from him. You did see the heart rate start to drop down as they're heading into this flatter section of the course. So Johnny, you got eyes on anything else out on course there? The B's, the C's, or the D's? I'm gonna head on over to Sebastian, but what are you looking at right now?
I'll just keep an eye on the A races there, just trying to see what these guys are suffering like. We've seen Allenby there with a good, high wattage, and then looking back to see whether he actually really does suffer, whether he's a bit of a machine, or whether he actually does have some pain when he's riding.
Looking at Allenby here. Allenby is getting a little bit of a delay here with his upload, but all right, we do have him, so I can grab Allenby real quick here as they are heading into the climb. We are seeing 147 beats per minute, looking fairly calm actually at this point. 330, 340 watts. So probably a lot of these guys I think are resting up. You can see the heart rate's really coming down at this point before they hit that forward climb, because this is going to be the one of the breaking points out on course. How many laps are we doing today, Johnny? Do you have I don't have Zwift Power up right this second. I believe it was...
It's, 4 laps for the A's and B's.
4 laps for the A's and the B's.
3 for the D's, 3 for the C's and D's.
3 for the C's and the D's. And so we'll make sure to check out the C's and the D's when we head on, as they do head toward their finish. And they will finish most likely before these boys, unless they do catch them out on course. We'll go ahead and give Allenby a ride on as he heads on up the climb right now. There is the Grimace right now, 486 watts, 162 beats per minute. He does max out right around the 180s or so. He's got about 20 beats to work with, but now we're going to watch what an effort looks like all the way to the top of the KOM. Let's see what this is. Is the attack going to come on? We do see 6.2 watts per kilogram or so, and now 7 watts per kilogram. Absolutely killing it. And now Allenby making his way toward the front. We're getting a little bit of a lag there, so we'll go right back to my perspective. But that was the attack. That was the start of that attack that we were looking at right there. Now up into that 172 beats per minute or so. 437 watts. Everybody's able to follow that attack. David Williams here really pushing through at 158 beats per minute, 59 watts, and we are seeing Williams maybe starting to fall off the back from that attack from Allenby, Bokarad, and Pierre Ficati, who are going off the front at 6 to 7 watts per kilogram right now. Garcia, though, staying on terms, it looks like. Garcia, if we actually go back and see that Garcia is right there with him, going right on by, actually, David Williams there just a moment ago at about 9 watts per kilogram, able to hold on, but now the gap is 2 seconds, and if you come over the top of here and you do not have continuance over the top, as you see Garcia knows that this is the moment. This is the absolute deciding moment. We do see Casey Shum here doing everything he can to stay on terms with that attack, and we do see some aero power-ups flying all over the place. 183 beats per minute, and Shum, no grimace. Look at that calm, collected Casey Shum from Team Experimento, not letting it bother him too much just at this point. We do know he's almost at max heart rate though at this point. Not at max quite, but almost there. Really doing everything he can, but he's used to the pain out here. You can see it. Allenby though at the front, Cartwright there as well, really throwing down. And now we do see what biting the dust looks like here from David Williams. The head is down. He's trying to hold on, but it looks like it's just a little too much. Let's go, David. Let's hear from him. Everybody give Mr. Williams a ride on. Let's see if he can get back on terms with these boys. But there it is. Now the bonk is real, I think, at 151, and another one by Snow. Great job, though, David. Way to rock it, man. Keep on going and hang on with any riders that you can get with. It looks like Loeffler is a little ways... just a little ways ahead of him. Coming on by now is McIntosh as well. And so if he can jump in with those riders and make up a good chase group. But it looks like Casey here, looking fairly calm at 175 beats per minute right now, 250 watts, was able to make that lead group at this point. So we do have a lead group now that we can see with, let's see here, Cartwright, Shum, Bokarad, Garcia. Who else is in there? Pierre Ficati has made it. Allenby has made it as well. Turok from Team Poland on the Go Power Rangers has made that group as well. Allenby looking fairly collected and calm at this point at 165 beats per minute, 412 watts or so, and able to, he did make that lead group as well. So we do have a solid amount of Zwift on board riders right now who did make the lead group, actually. Really good to see. Really good to see. Now, let's go ahead and head back to the B race. I believe we do have, I'm going to see if we can find them. They are just heading into the climb, actually, it looks like, in the B race.
Yeah, we've got a big group up front there of up to, I'd say, about 15 to 20 riders with one of our Zwift on board streamers, Sebastian Kuhn from Vision Cycling. He is up in that group as well.
Is that the lead group? He's actually in the lead group, it looks like, hey? Yep. It looks like that is, and he's with Abbott, it looks like. Sternfalk here as well. WBR, Abbott here looking like he's riding for that new WBR team out on course. Used to be the Z team, now has a new lead sponsor with the World Bicycle Relief. If you don't know about it, the World Bicycle Relief event this weekend, boys and girls, make sure to get a part of that 24-hour event. Lots of pros riding out the whole set, like a ton of 7-Eleven riders are going to be out on there. Andy Hampston, Tom Schuler and I are talking locally here in the Milwaukee area about getting something going. I know he's going to be riding for an hour with another 7-Eleven rider. They've, I think Axel Merckx, I heard that we're going to have Matthew Heyman. I mean, there's just all kinds of events that are going to be going on all day, riders you can ride with all day in that WBR event. So a nice way to highlight that right now with Abbott here that we are, let's go ahead and get my scene up here real quick. And we are looking at Abbott here from the WBR right now in that kit, riding for that team. And I know that those guys are going to be really supportive of the ride to help lead those rides a little bit and kind of keep things together, as they do ride a lot of, they do a lot of events and a lot of group rides, and they're very familiar with running those in the world of Zwift. So watch out for those guys out on course during the WBR. But now this is the lead group, though, in the B race. This is for probably one of the breaks that is going to happen throughout the race today. Sebastian Kuhn is making his way, it looks like, to the front. We do have Graytrick, though, here. Brian Graytrick, actually, hammering in that court kit. Rider that's been in the game since beta. Very familiar with him. Riding for the TRCC here, 165 beats per minute, 400 watts, as they just have about 200 meters to go. This is the last little kick, and there is a man going off the front here. A Hyman, absolutely killing it. Hayam here, actually absolutely killing it out of Great Britain, with Takeshita here out of Japan trying to follow that wheel but unable to do so, and that will be the break most likely in the B race. Sternfalk and Abbott here trying to follow. Kuhn is just barely hanging on. As we go back to Kuhn's perspective, you can see this man is absolutely killing it right now for the Vision Cycling team, trying to stay on terms at 174 beats per minute right now, and it looks like he will make the chase group, but Takeshita and Hayam have gone off the front. As we look at his perspective, he is, from Kuhn's perspective, he is about a group of, it looks like, from what I'm looking at, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or so riders, but there are two off the front that we can see with Takeshita and Hayam, that they're going to have to put up a concerted effort here in order to stay with them and try and make the win. So at 303 watts here, Takeshita here also at 164 beats per minute, off the back from Hayam, actually, as it is 8 seconds between them. So Takeshita may be going off the front, but all in his lonesome. Graytrick is most likely going to be able to get right back on terms with him and pull these riders right back up on the downhill section of the course here.
Yeah, we've now got the, just as we've had those guys head over the KOM, we do have the C riders with C Velsik out of Norway and El Springnet, and also Pete Chapman leading the front group of riders in the C category, about to start that KOM climb as they just go underneath the start-finish banner.
All right, I'm going to head on back to those guys, but let's take a look at the Essies right now. This is the lead of the A and the A race right now. There's Casey Shum, 473 watts, trying to hang on with this attack up and over the top here. McIntosh is off the back just a little bit, so he was not able to stick with him as we look at his perspective. Then we head on over to David Williams, who's trying to hang on with McIntosh as well, it looks like. There's David Williams' perspective as him and McIntosh try and chase down those leaders, but those leaders cars. Casey Shum is in there with Allenby as well. Let's go ahead and head on over to Allenby's perspective here as well. There they are. This is Casey Shum, David Allenby, Vision Cycling, Team Experimental, both in there from our Zwift on board perspective. Very cool to see. So this is the leaders in the A race. It looks like about 450 watts coming from Allenby, 167, 168 beats per minute. He's getting up towards max. Do you remember what his max heart rate is? I don't have Zwift Power up right this second. Do you have any look at that, Johnny?
Yeah, I'll check it out. I think it was something around the 170s, like 177, something like that.
Yeah, 177, 178, I believe. I think you're right about that. So he's definitely throwing down a solid effort at this point in order to hang on with the front of the group right now. Definitely one of the favorites to win today. Make sure to watch out for him. I think we're going to get a great perspective of some sprints at the end of the race here. They do have, it looks like, one lap to go after this one. One lap to go after this one. That's awesome to see, actually, too. Zwift on board helping us out because we can see their perspective as a part of the event module, and I can see exactly how much distance they have left to go. What a great help that is as well, as far as the broadcasting tools go. We do have the front of the C's now. Let's go ahead and head on over to them, and as we get their perspective of the race. Let's go ahead and see. Here's the front of the C race. S. Lomax with Mason. Rob Jones is there. Quevedo coming out of Brazil. J. Cave as well. And I believe these riders are on their last lap, if I'm not incorrect. B. Masterson is here as well. Rob Jones, S. Street, Skylar Street, who did, I believe, win I think he won the last race he was a part of, but we were on a flatter course, I think, for that. He's trying to hang on with these boys. 3.0 watts per kilogram, 181 beats per minute. Absolutely killing it out on the Watopia Hilly course. But this is the last and final attack, and I think this is the one that is going to put some people in the hurt locker and decide the race at this point.
Yeah. It's it's a race for these guys for the C race, 3 laps of the Watopia Hilly course. We've seen the A's do the 4 laps and the B's doing the 4 laps, but this 3 laps of the C's, it's a hard, it's a really, really tough climb. It's over 300 meters of climbing over the total length at race pace. This is like a full-on FTP effort for these guys, and they're going to be over the edge of their handlebars after this race.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the 168 here from Lomax, they are absolutely killing themselves in order to try and make any kind of break that they possibly can. It is just 1 to 2 seconds. You see that little bit of a gap, like you were saying, over the handlebars. That's what they are feeling right now. They are feeling so much lactic, so much burn in the legs right now. Lomax, 4.1. He's trying to make this break happen. And McAllen right here, trying to hang on, doing everything he can, up at 180 beats per minute, up and out of the saddle, as you can see here. He's definitely out of the saddle with that RPM. Look at that RPM, super low. The Smart Trainer now kicks a little bit down and starts to give him a little less gradient, and so now we do see the RPM start to kick up. Most likely on a Smart Trainer, we see McAllen going to that 9400 RPMs, but he was definitely up and out of the saddle when he was down into that 50 RPM or so, trying to hang on with J. Cave, but Lomax trying to make this break, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen, and it may come down to a sprint if they do not separate out over the top. It's all about continuance here, right, though. If he can continue with speed over the top, this is the best time to attack. You can attack over the top of the climb, but if you throw everything you can into the climb and then nothing over the top, it doesn't do much for you. If anybody has anything to give right now, this is the moment that you can get away, because you see the aero power up here coming from, looks like, is it Watson? One of these riders threw down. J. Cave, I think, maybe? Threw down, yep, it was JK, but that was just to hang on, it looks like, actually, and not actually to get away from the group. But now Hoskins, it looks like, let's see, who else is here? We are seeing Jay Bell. So Jay Bell wanted to bite the dust off the back. Rob Jones, who was with him, unable to hang on. Wozniak, McGee, Grenfell. This is the chase. Street now just coming over the top. You can see how much of a gap. He was with the leaders, and now it's already 30 seconds. So, I mean, as you can see, this section of the course is so crucial, so incredibly crucial in order to make the lead groups and to break things apart. That one huge, 2-minute climb or so, it's not a huge climb, but it's definitely a VO2 max effort up and over the top.
Yeah, and talking about that climb, we do actually have the A riders heading up right now on their final, just about to do their last climb up this on their final lap at the moment with Shum, Gagnon, Patterson, Bocrod, Cartwright, and Allenby still in that front group altogether.
they actually might catch these boys. They are flying. We
so.
might have a
Yeah.
whole, I think we're actually going to have like multiple sprints all at once, actually. Looking through here, we do have Allenby's perspective, but he's off the back a little bit. The Juggernaut, he did say he was feeling a little sick today, and now the Juggernaut, Allenby, has been dropped from the group, 170 beats per minute. Let's see if he can get a power up to get back on terms. If he's got a kick, did he have a dropout or anything? But I know he did say he wasn't feeling good. Really good to have him here in the race. Let's give him some encouragement as he is making his way to the finish line. Looks like David Williams is quickly trying to chase down Allenby at this point, but he's got a little bit of a gap to make up, though, if he's going to bring him back. It's over 30 seconds. But Shum, it looks like Team Experimental has set themselves up for the win today. Let's go ahead and fade Shum in here. Absolutely hammering. They know the attack is on at this point. They know, they can see the 5-second gap. They know that they don't want Allenby to get back involved in this race at any point because they know how strong he is, how many races he won. If you go to zwiftpower.com, you look at Allenby's results, it's gold, 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 gold like crazy. But we do see Shum Cartwright, another racer from the KRT here as well, that has won a lot of races. Usually, he's nipped Allenby at the line here and there, but usually second place to him. So a huge result here for Cartwright as well if he's able to hang on to the front here. Patterson, Bokarad, Gagnon, another one that we need to watch out. I know he's got a little bit of a kick at the end as well. Looking super strong, actually. Hanging in there from the ODZ group. This is actually a team, an unsung hero team a little bit, I think, here and there, as the ODZ boys, they're the ones to watch out for. You know, they fly under the radar a little bit, but when they get involved in an event, we saw it at the Tax Worlds event, we saw it at the Team Worlds event, when they jump in, they're no joke. And Gagnon here hammering away at 177 beats per minute, you know, and Shum following that wheel very closely. Let's go ahead and bring it up here real quick. So here's Gagnon. He's in and amongst this group, and 5.4 watts per kilogram, 177 beats per minute or so. Absolutely killing it on the downhill. He's made this lead group, this elite group at this point, and Allenby, is he still off the back? It looks like Allenby has made it back into the group, actually. He was dropped off over the top. Maybe a little bit of reserve, actually. I don't know. I mean, we saw him up in the 177s. What do you think, John? You think he was having a little bit of reserves, knowing he could bring it back on the downhill?
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's like looking at him and having a little look on my side, coming on that climb. You know, he was swaying a little bit from his, you know, quite solid, you know, TT, you know, position. So I think he's struggling a little bit. And I think if these guys want to get the better of Allenby, they need to attack him. I think now before he gets into that position, gets it right again, and then powers on to the finish.
I'm with you there. They need to play some cat and mouse games, Team Experimental especially, I think, in order to keep the hurt on. Maybe, I mean, if they dropped him off, though, on the climb, maybe they can be confident to drop him off through the SEs. You don't know how many matches they got to burn. You don't know where things are at, what the tactic is, actually. But all you can do is try and throw your cards at the table, play them at the right time, and a little bit of luck and chance involved in there as well. We do see that there is Cartwright here in there still. And as far as your favorites today, I don't know. I'd be watching out for Cartwright today. I'd be watching out for Team Poland, Purificati as well from the ODZ. We got a couple of ODZ boys in here, actually. Wow, okay, so I didn't realize that. 2 ODZs, actually, both out of Canada. And I think the Canadians are actually throwing a little bit of cat and mouse at these boys. As we're looking at it here, Purificati off the front, got on the wheels of these 2 riders and goes right on by them. He's got a 1-second gap. Is it going to hold? And now the other ODZ rider that's in there gets a free ride right back up to his wheel, doesn't have to really put any work in. And where is he? We are seeing Purificati here, 5.9, 5.8 watts per kilogram. And then it was Gagnon, who was the other rider, was able to rest up a little bit, 4.5 and 171 beats per minute. If I'm not incorrect, Gagnon does beat up into that 190s, I believe. So he's got about 20 beats to work with, I think. If I'm just working from memory, though, on that, not actually looking at zwiftpower.com.
Yeah, like it's it's going to be a hard race for these guys. We've got Gagnon. He does beat up to 194, which is highest recorded heart rate. The rider there from Team ODZ. Myself and Nathan, looking at these riders, Casey Shum, he's not one we usually see in these KISS road races. He usually races the ZTR, which is before this. So we haven't seen him race for these guys for quite a few months. So this might be an interesting one for him, and one the guys will want to mark as well.
Yeah, we are looking at Casey's perspective right now. 178 beats per minute, 257 watts. Looking fairly calm, actually. So you might be right, but I do know a little bit about Casey. He is pretty high on the heart rate right now, but no time to throw any more sugar in at this point, as it's just going to kill the osmo in your system at this point. So there isn't going to be much more sugar intake at this point. It's going to come down to either a one last kick over the top of the Essies as he's setting himself up real nice. He's not letting, as you can see here, he's just making his way to the front. He's following Cartwright and Allenby. You can see it. He's making sure he's always at the front. He's not going to get dropped off. Everyone's positioning themselves really well, making sure they're not getting any kind of drafting, not drafting bug, but drafting on any riders as they go by them. They don't want to slow down from any riders that are out on course that they're lapping or anything. So we do see Shum killing it here. 3.9, 4.5 watts per kilogram. Cartwright now making his way to the front. It's going to be all about what are the power-ups at this point. And we do know, I think a lot of these riders have held on to power-ups for a long time at this point. They most likely were saving them up and now here it is. There's the attack. I'm going to try and get the perspective as it's coming on. We do see it a little early here. There is a good delay. So we do know that Allenby is going to be attacking very soon here. And now there is a little bit. There it is. And we can see that's what that kick that we just saw. A little bit of an instant replay almost right here. 480 watts, 700 watts coming from Allenby. As the attack goes on, he gets a little bit of a gap over the rest of the riders, kicks it through. You can see him look up into the corner. He's looking for what he got for his power-up. That's what he's doing right there. He's totally looking at what the power-up is and killing it at 165, 166. And now, will the power-ups be thrown down? That's going to be the question. And the power-up that he got, as we go back to a live perspective, we can see it was a drafting power-up that he's throwing down right now. 7.18 watts per kilogram. We're going to go back to Allenby and see what this effort, we're seeing up in that 600 watts. So what does that effort actually look like? Here it is. It's going to probably be a stand and go, but we only can anticipate. We can see, though, live what that actually looked like as he works his way through the pack with that drafting boost. You can see in the upper left-hand corner, the drafting boost has been kicked. He's absolutely grimacing. He's yelling at himself to go, and there it is, 170 beats per minute, and he is up toward the front still. As we got the live replay here, he makes his way up toward the front. And now there is a few getting dropped off. As we go back to live, we can see that it is Bokrod, I think, off the back a little bit here as they head almost through the completion of the Essies. Pierre Ficati's still in there. ODZ, actually, this might be anyone's race at this point. I don't know. Nobody's fallen off, actually. Now, as I go through here, let's go back to Shum and see what Shum is looking like.
We do have a ride off the front. We did have Jay Turco off the front, but he is actually on racing on Zwift Power, so he will not be eligible for the win in this category. So we're looking at this main front group of all these riders who managed to stick together over that first part of the S's.
Yeah, and this is it here now. This is the setup, and we do have Allenby on the front, 7 watts per kilogram. Cartwright also said he's going really early, actually. He doesn't want a sprint situation. Look at this, going from way, way out, actually. And this is going to be interesting to see how this is going to play out as he goes off the front, 8 watts per kilogram. And I'm going to actually go to his perspective. We'll have to watch a replay of it a little bit here. This is the attack, 168 beats per minute. Him and Cartwright are off the front at this point. Looks like the other riders have been dropped off, but I do see Shum coming on super strong, actually. Shum up and out of the saddle, actually, killing it, 10 watts per kilogram. Does he have actually a power-up? Shum's going to the front, 10.
He's going. He's
absolutely going. This is it. He's going absolutely hard. 194 beats per minute. Shum is gone, boys and girls. There's the live perspective right now, and it looks like Casey Shum is going to pull away for the win today in the KISS EU race. I think he's done it. Oh no, Cartwright right at the line. I think Shum did it though. It was right at the line. I don't know. I'm not sure. I got a live perspective, and there it is. And he just did it. He just barely did it. It was the fastest time, actually, out on course. Casey Shum, we saw it all live. Absolutely killed it. Great race from Team Experimento. I've never seen it before, actually. Shum has never taken the juggernauts out before. That was so great. Great job to Casey. We saw the expression on the face there. He's dying. Oh, my gosh. Did you see that? Oh, okay. I'll go back to Shum real quick. We'll merge him back in. He's hanging over the handlebars. Look at the perspective. It's so great. 187 beats per minute, letting the heart rate come down. We got people. Jesus help me, he says. Oh my goodness. And that was great. That was a great sprint finish. Great to see it all live. Allenby, Cartwright tried to throw down, but the juggernauts, once again, you can see that it's not always the favorites to make the win. Wiping himself off there. Great job to Casey. We'll go back now to David Williams, who's bringing it in with another Team Experimental rider, setting up really well here at this point. And looking at David's perspective, we can see that he's looking at 147 beats per minute. I think he's rested up pretty good after getting thrown off the back. There is the sprint, though, for the C race, actually. Let's get to them real quickly here. I'm going to fly them in. So you can see Dinsdale right now throwing down 6 watts per kilogram. He will be winning at 205 beats per minute, though, in the C race, followed by, it looks like, Paul and Vang right now. Right back to David's perspective, we can see him in for the sprint here at 555 watts, 155 beats per minute, battling it out with Loeffler, and it looks like Loeffler will get the better of Williams, though. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Williams got Loeffler, actually, over the line. So Williams actually did get Loeffler over the line, 157 beats per minute, a little bit of live suffering there as well. Let's go back to Kuhn now, as he's bringing it in for the finish in the B race. Everybody's finishing at the same time here. It looks like Sebastian was dropped off before the line a little bit. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, the B race is actually still finishing through here. Excuse me, I was incorrect there. So they're actually heading through the sprint section out on course right now. So I'm going to get back to them. He'll give us a good little peek into what things are looking like toward the front of the B race. Looks like it's a lot of suffering as he's really struggling to hang on to the front there at 165, 166 beats per minute, 290 watts or so as they're heading toward their last section of the course where they can actually grab a power-up. One last grab at a power-up. His Zwift on board a little bit there. You can almost see his power-up actually. It's a little, do you see that on his screen there?
Yeah, not too much. I think it's maybe a little bit of alignment on his side.
Yeah, a little bit of alignment,
We can't have any screen coaching going on.
Screen poaching for the power-ups. Which one does he got? As there is the fastest one that you can use is the arrow power-up, but you can definitely negate that or counter it with the drafting power-up. And so as they are heading into the uphill grind, he's almost got a full-on live perspective. His perspective is only like a 1 or 2 second delay, actually. Looking really good here from my perspective to watch him, but we are seeing, I'm going to fly my perspective in here real quickly, and we are watching Kuhn here out of Germany, hammering for Vision Cycling, but on the front, it looks like in the B race, I think Takashita was off the front. Is this Oxted then too? Is he off the front as well?
I think it's Takashita is the lead rider at the moment. Is Oxted just ahead of him?
No, I think you're right on Takashita. I think Takashita's already up and over the top. 7 seconds up from, I'm looking at here, Thompson. So Thompson on Go-Go Power Rangers out of Great Britain, followed by the Polish rider AW. So Takashita 4.6 watts per kilogram off the front here, and 173 beats per minute. I have seen a lot of 5+ from Takashita. I wonder if he will get an upgrade out of the Bs today. We'll have to see. Looks like Kuhn is doing everything he can to chase these boys back down. He's at the, so this is where the elastic snap, we can see a live elastic snap right now. Here it is, Sebastian Kuhn, the live elastic snap is happening. Look at it. It's just the slow fade we've talked about so many times. 166 beats per minute. He gets a ride on from Great Trick right now, telling him to keep on going, to keep on pushing. I think a fellow rider that was a part of the race with him, he's got 1.8 kilometers to go. Johnny, you just gave him a ride on. A little bit of encouragement from fellow Vision Cycling rider. Get back on terms with it. 170 beats per minute. But let's go back live to the front of the race. We'll get his sprint finish as he finishes up. But Takashita, 8.8 watts per kilogram. I believe he is most likely going to be winning this, but getting an upgrade. I think we are still getting, for some reason, some live notifications there. But thanks a lot for the follow, wherever the follow was at, over on Beam or Twitch, wherever that might have been. F. de Voor here out of the Netherlands, followed by Thompson here in the B race. Great Trick is here, who did make that main chase group. They are battling it out, it looks like, for 4th place out on course. Unless they can catch AW and Thompson, they might be able to do it, but Thompson going from way out on the Go-Go Power Rangers and trying to get back on terms with those guys, as I do have the open world here. 9 watts per kilogram, 177 beats per minute. We look over the shoulder a little bit here to see who's going to hang on to his wheel. Takashita's already off the front, though, and we are seeing, though, 10 watts per kilogram from Thompson. DeVore, though, with some solid effort here. AW out of Poland here, 11 watts per kilogram. I think AW might be able to pull it off here for 2nd place out on course. Takashita will be taking first, already off the front, already across the line, but killer effort, as you can see here. And so it looks like AW, followed by Thompson, then F. DeVore. Moving back here, we do see Sternfalk and a few others in the C race. I'm going to go ahead and see what's happening from Kuhn's perspective, though. Let's go ahead and fade him in. Here's Kuhn bringing it in for his sprint out on course. 237 watts. He's got a few riders around him, getting a ride on from D Muse there. And is he going to have one last little kick for us to the line? 200 watts or so. And I think he will be able to pull off a top 10, maybe top 15, though, for Vision Cycling. Solid ride coming from Kuhn out on course. Lots of ride-ons from Kupinik, all kinds of riders giving him ride-ons. Solid ride, great job out there, Let's go ahead and see if we can grab Casey Shum, are you in? Let's go ahead and see if we can see if Casey, I'm going to go ahead and get Casey's perspective. He is doing his cool down right now out on course. I'm going to merge him in. The winner in the A race today, looks like he's chatting, probably in a TeamSpeak or something right now. I'm going to kill his audio, though, just make sure it's not coming through, just in case it was coming through to you guys. I'm going to see if I can find Casey, if he's in any Discord. I don't have a Team Experimental Discord. I think they use TeamSpeak, actually. We'll see if he can jump in with us, as we do have some live riders here. It looks like David's all done for the day as well. We can see his avatar hanging out on the right-hand side of the road. I'm going to pop in with Zwift Power here real quick. We were keeping it down as we were getting a little bit high on the resources needed in order to run Zwift on board, but it's been such an amazing setup that we've seen here with this new technology. Huge thank you to Glenn Knight and the KISS guys for putting this together with Zwift on board on top of ZwiftPower.com. I mean, I'm going over to ZwiftPower.com right now to check out the live results and using the Zwift on board. I mean, it's just amazing the work that the community has put in. It's absolutely awesome. So, on GoGo Power Rangers with 106 kilograms we're seeing. So, well, I don't know. He's got a 4.4 watts per kilogram for the duration of the race from Jacek Terak here out of Poland. So, I don't know if it's Zada approved or not, because we are seeing that there was a change in his kilograms in order to help him out with his setup. So I'm not sure how that how the results will end up, but we do see what I would consider official. Usually, Casey Shum, first place, right ahead of Tim Cartwright, followed by Alexander Gagnon. So Casey Shum for Team Experimental absolutely killed it today. And then we are looking at Tim Cartwright for KISS Racing Team. Threw it down for second place, followed by Alexander Gagnon for the Team ODZ today. Killer job, everybody, all around. Casey, that is a great result for Casey as well, because his last 3 races, 10th, 4th, and 24th, actually. So there is no golds, actually, for him in the last 3 races that he has done. So that is a great result, actually, for him. Nice job for Casey here, as we see him cooling down here.
Now we're going to try and get Casey in for into Discord and Nathan for a little bit of an interview. We sent him a link to get into the AFK channel, so hopefully he might be able to join us for a bit of a chat.
Sounds good. Sounds good. We are looking here. We're looking at him trying to deal with technology right now at 0 watts per kilogram. Very cool to see. Then in the B race, we do see Jordan Shine followed by Y Kashitita, but Shine is at 5.2 watts per kilogram. He's actually got a Zada check next to his name that, not a check, but like he'll have a Zada like, hey, we got to check out what's going on here at 5.2 watts per kilogram. But good job to Jordan. He'll get an upgrade to the A category. Takashita at 4.8 also will get an upgrade, and Andre Wyris at 4.2, as well as Rob Thompson and Fizro Devor. These guys are all going to get upgrades actually to the next level, but we will just read it out as I see it. I'm going to go with Takashita, first place, followed by Andre Wyris out of Poland, riding 14 Poland, and Rob Thompson riding unattached for third place in the B category. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up the C racers here momentarily, as we can see what the C's and the D's did for their race today. We weren't able to find the D race out on course for any of the results, unless I might be able to go find, no, they have already finished. So in the C race, Jack Curtis, followed by Paul McGowan, and then Chris Velsic are your top three, all riding unattached. In the D race, we do have Jeremy Curtis, followed by Ree Kidger, and Lee is riding for, what is this? I don't know that team. TPH Racing Riders, all coming out of Great Britain, actually. Lee Kidridge rides for them. Carl Dedman, Adam Chamberlain, Perny Higgs, and Andrew Keto all ride for those boys, for that team. And so that is your second place rider riding for that team in the D category. So first place was Jeremy Curtis. Lee Kidger out of Great Britain for second place. In third place, Matthew Sydenham Reed, also riding unattached. So great job to all of the riders today. I'm going to go ahead and open up Discord here, see if I can grab Casey. I think we've got him. Yes, we do have him. I'm going to see, make sure his levels are good. Casey, can you hear me? And let's see if we can hear you. Maybe he has push to talk on. I'm going to have to wait and see. Oh, there we go. There we go. I'm just going to check his levels real quick with VMix, see how you're doing. Can you give me a little check 1, 2, Casey?
Yeah, check.
All right. You're sounding pretty good. If you can talk a little bit closer to your mic, it'd be kind of helpful, just so you know. But great job today, Casey. For two things. What was the tactic in order to pull that off? Because you just beat some serious competition.
The tactic was resting the entire race, and actually, Allenby pulled me back after, I think, the third climb. We had about a 3-second gap, and he dropped a truck, or I dropped a truck, and he dropped a aero helmet. And if I hadn't had his wheel, I was done. So I was able to rest after that.
Gotcha. We will have a little delay, just so everybody knows, between Casey talking. It's only 1 or 2 seconds. It's about 5 or 6 seconds or so. But you will be able to see him live. But it's going to be just a little delay. We'll try and work on that in the future. This is our first time using the Zwift on board. So, Casey, also, as far as the Zwift on board things goes, you know, what do you think about all this? And I mean, we saw your crazy sprint at the end there. Pretty cool setup, eh?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I was listening to the team car the whole time, and we had Daniel Schmidheine and a few guys watching the broadcast, and they were loving the onboard. You flipping through everybody. They could see all of us working. So it was pretty cool.
Did it help you? Because I had some feedback from people saying, you know, knowing that people can see the live effort, not only having the race broadcast a lot of times pushes people, but having the live effort of yourself being broadcast there, does that feel like it pushes you on a little harder even?
Yeah, knowing somebody's watching you, especially they can see me, myself riding, it gives you a little extra motivation to push that little bit harder, which I definitely needed in that sprint. That was the longest, hardest sprint I've done.
That hat might have helped out a little bit too, right?
Yeah, I timed that perfect. I was a little bit off the back of those guys, and I dropped the helmet as soon as I thought it would carry me all the way to the line. And I got just enough of a slingshot that Cartwright couldn't quite get back to me.
Oh my gosh, it was so close with Cartwright there. I mean, it was like right there. I mean, Really, really close. I thought he might have caught you. I thought I might have been a little bit ahead of myself saying that you had won, but you just nipped him at the line, it looked like.
Yeah, I think you actually had my point of view at the line, which it looked like I won, but I wasn't sure. And I made Daniel go check Swift Power, and he said, yeah, Swift Power had me in front as well.
Gotcha. Right on. Right on. Well, Casey, great job today, man. Any real life events or any more Zwift races coming up that you're looking at? I mean, what's the plan for the winter? Do you ride outside? I know you do a little cyclocross, so what's going on?
Yeah, I've done my first 2 actual cyclocross races I've done just in the last 3 weeks. It's a lot of fun, but man, is it different. We need some cyclocross tracks out here on Zwift so we can do some, it's 600 watts for 5 seconds and then you rest and then you do it again. And do that for about 45 minutes is a little different than these races.
Yeah, I think getting some VO2 max favored courses might be a cool thing to do, actually. We were talking about mountain bike course or cyclocross courses a little bit in the channel lately. But, man, great job today, Casey. That was quite the sprint. I know being a TT state champ and being a TT specialist is probably not your forte, so to see you pull that off was a great job, man.
Yeah, this is all thanks to Swift, actually. My FTP has only went up 1/10 of a watt per kilogram since I won state TTs, but my matchbook is probably 3 times the size as it was back then. So that's all Zwift.
Right on. Yeah, for sure. And I think we hear those stories a lot. So great job, Casey. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate you jumping into the Discord. Nice job on the win today.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
So that was Casey Shum. Great job to Casey with the W today and a little bit of a Zwift on board experience with him. We do have a whole bunch of other Zwift on board boys right now. Looks like, but I think we're going to leave that for another time. I am going to get on for a ride momentarily here. We did go through results already. If you're just tuning in, what is Zwift? We just saw a massive multiplayer online game where people were cycling from their actual bikes, putting out real power with high heart rates and racing each other in this virtual environment from the comforts of their home. Maybe not very comfortable, though, as we saw those real efforts. Absolutely killing it. I thought it was a success with the Zwift on board. What do you think, Johnny?
Yeah, I think it added a whole new dimension to seeing it happen and seeing that sprint at the end by Casey. That was amazing. We see all the time these sprints happening, but when you actually see the guys really going for it and also their faces and their reactions at the end, that's the thing that I think we need to keep seeing going forward to really show people what is happening with Zwift.
For sure, definitely. We'll do a couple little cool down pictures here as we end the broadcast, everybody. I will be riding after this on my live channels. We do have Twitch TV, Beam.pro, as well as YouTube. I'm going to restart the broadcast. We'll leave Zwift's Facebook, but we will be broadcasting at those places. Tomorrow, don't forget, there is the Vision Cycling Team training camp that I will be running a training camp ride, actually, at tomorrow. So make sure to join that event if you'd like to jump in to a live training camp. There's instructions about joining our Discord server so that you can get live audio from me as we go through the event and through the ride. Actually, don't forget about the WBR this weekend, as that is a huge event. We got to ride 250,000 miles, boys and girls. Let's make it happen so we can unlock $45,000 to give away amazing Buffalo bikes to people in need in Africa. It's life-changing. Huge thanks to Trek for throwing down that competition for us to do. Come on, Zwift. Let's make it happen, Zwift community. Let's get that 250,000 miles. We're going to do a little quick here look. David Williams, great job to him. Thanks for coming for Zwift on board from the KISS Racing team. Great job on your accomplishments out there. We can get Glenn Knight's look here as well, as he's looking at a couple riders out on course. Big thank you to Glenn Knight as we look at him here and his setup with his. We didn't have him actually racing, but we did have him this whole time looking at some riders for us. Also, Sebastian Kuhn for Vision Cycling. Awesome ride out there today, Sebastian. Great job. Mark McIntosh as well. Thanks for joining in. I know Tom O'Kalin was trying as David Allenby. Great job, David. Great job, everybody, all around. And everybody, let's big old ride on. Let's get some ride on hypes going on. And we will see you on Zwift Facebook on Thursday for the KISS race as well. Cheers, everybody.
Oh.